Thank you for joining us today. The payments industry is exposed to financial and reputational risks. As new and different merchant business models continue to develop, an acquirer's ability to protect its business from fraud and illegal activity becomes more challenging. With these concerns in mind, MasterCard developed the Member Alert to Control High-Risk Merchants system, also known as MATCH, as a means of providing MasterCard acquirers with the opportunity to develop and review enhanced or incremental risk information before entering into a merchant agreement. This MATCH education module will provide you an overview of the program, walk you through a fraud case study, and conclude with a short quiz to test your knowledge. The MATCH system is a MasterCard proprietary database that has information about merchants that an acquirer has terminated and placed in MATCH under one of the MATCH reason codes. MasterCard acquirers are required to have access to the MATCH tool, which is accessible through MasterCard Connect, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Acquirers may also authorize their registered third-party processors, also known as TPPs, to access MATCH on their behalf by registering the TPPs in the Business Administration tool. It is important to note that MasterCard does not verify or confirm the accuracy of any of the information that is submitted by acquirers to MATCH. MasterCard relies on its acquirers and their registered agents to place accurate data in MATCH. There are 3 MATCH requirements: certification, inquiry, and add. Let's go through each of these. The first MATCH requirement is certification. Every acquirer that conducts merchant acquiring activity must be certified by MasterCard to use MATCH. Certification is the process by which MasterCard connects an acquirer to the MATCH system, so that the acquirer may send and receive MATCH records to and from MasterCard. To be certified for MATCH usage, acquirers must request access via the MasterCard Connect store for each ICA number under which acquiring activity is conducted. To illustrate the MATCH certification process, we will review a scenario involving SecureBank, an acquiring institution that just activated a new MasterCard ICA that will be used to process merchant activity. A conversation takes place between a manager, Dave, and his staff member, Liz.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Liz. I just got off the phone with MasterCard. Our new acquiring ICA is now in live status. Can you please request access to MATCH through the MasterCard Connect store? Not only is it a MasterCard requirement, but we need access to MATCH for this ICA so that we can send and receive information to and from the system as we sign on new merchants.
Sure, no problem, Dave. I will request access today.
Fantastic, thank you.
SecureBank is getting ready to accept merchant applications. Its goal is to onboard merchants quickly and efficiently, while at the same time assessing their risk. Acquiring bank personnel utilize their user ID and secure fob to access MasterCard Connect and order the MATCH product for each bank ICA. By doing so, they fulfill the MATCH certification requirement. The second MATCH requirement is inquiry. All acquirers, except those located in countries where participation is excused for legal reasons, are required to inquire to MATCH about a merchant before signing a merchant agreement with that merchant. Acquirers must conduct inquiries under all ICAs that will be used to support that merchant's activity. If, upon inquiring about a merchant, an acquirer is provided information which indicates that the merchant appears to be listed in MATCH, the acquirer will be given various information related to the merchant, such as its principal owner and its location. The inquiring acquirer can use that information to determine whether the merchant inquired about is the same merchant that is listed. The inquiring acquirer will be given the reason the merchant listed was terminated by its previous acquirer. This information helps the inquiring acquirer decide if it wants to do business with the merchant, whether additional investigation is appropriate, or if it should take other measures to address risk. It is important to note that, under MasterCard rules, Acquirers are neither discouraged or prohibited from signing a merchant agreement with a merchant that is listed in Match. Information related to a merchant listed in Match is intended only as one of the many tools to an acquirer in making a risk-based decision regarding onboarding a new merchant. There are 4 methods that acquirers can use to access Match data to conduct an inquiry or add a terminated merchant. The first method is the submission of a single entry via Match Online. This requires a manual effort and provides real-time results. Match inquiry searches can be filtered by region or country. The second method is the submission of a text file through the import feature available on Match Online. This is a manual submission of a bulk file with real-time results. The third method is the electronic submission of a bulk file via the batch process, which provides a 24-hour response time. The Match Open API Premium service is different from all other access methods in that it allows customers to submit single inquiries to Match electronically via an automated system-to-system access point and receives results in real time. This service is desirable to acquirers because it helps to expedite the due diligence procedure during the merchant onboard process. Once an inquiry is submitted, the Match system returns the following possible matches. An exact possible match, when data in an inquiry record matches data on the Match system letter for letter, number for number, or both. A phonetic possible match, when the Match system converts certain alphabetic data, such as business name and principal owner last name, to a phonetic code. The phonetic code generates matches on words that sound alike. A possible inquiry match indicates that other acquirers are inquiring about the merchant. A retroactive possible match. If an inquiry does not result in a possible merchant match, the merchant could still be listed in Match at a future date by a different acquirer. Remember, the Match system can't confirm that a merchant listed on the system is the merchant being inquired about. The Match system provides information that may be useful to the acquirer, but only the acquirer can investigate and decide whether to do business with a merchant. Let's return to our case study at Secure Bank. Liz successfully certified for Match and can now transmit data to and from Match under the Secure Bank's new Merchant Acquiring ICA. Liz is now reviewing a new application from a clothing store. Liz reviews the application and notices that the clothing store already has a POS terminal and has been in business for 7 years. Liz complies with the Match inquiry mandate and performs a Match inquiry prior to making the decision to onboard the merchant. Based on the results of her Match search, Liz receives an exact possible match, indicating that the merchant may have been placed on Match 2 months prior by another acquiring bank, with reason code 05, excessive fraud. Liz is apprehensive about onboarding the merchant and decides to discuss it with her manager, Dave.
Hi, Dave. I'm reviewing a merchant application for a clothing store. Do you have a minute to discuss it with me?
Hey, Liz, of course.
So we received an application for a clothing store. After searching the Match system, I believe I found the merchant listed in Match by another acquirer 2 months ago for excessive fraud. I know we are not prohibited from onboarding a merchant that is listed in Match, so I contacted the listing acquirer for further information. They indicated the fraud was an isolated incident. I also checked the merchant principal's credit score and performed a site inspection on the premises. Everything else looks good.
Wow, good job, Liz, and thanks for being so thorough. The information we received from Match is helpful in assessing our risk for this merchant. I'm comfortable with approving the application, but we'll need to implement some conditions in the merchant agreement and confirm with the merchant that they've implemented fraud controls. We can meet later today to discuss the specifics.
Great. I'll schedule a meeting for this afternoon so we can move forward. Thanks, Dave.
The third requirement is for acquirers to add a terminated merchant to Match if that merchant meets the criteria in one of the Match reason codes. All acquirers, except for those located in countries exempted from participation, are required to add a terminated merchant to Match if the acquirer has a reason to believe that a condition as described in one of the Match reason codes exists at the time of termination. The merchant must be added to match within 5 days of either a decision by the acquirer to terminate the acquiring relationship or receipt by the acquirer of notice by or on behalf of the merchant of a decision to terminate. If a merchant does not meet any match reason code criteria at the time of termination, then the merchant should not be listed in match. Acquirers may not use or threaten to use match as a collection tool for fees owed by the merchant to the acquirer. This case study provides an example of a situation that would trigger the addition of a terminated merchant to match. Liz is monitoring the transaction activity for a merchant called the travel agency. Liz notices that the transaction volume for the merchant is unusually low. She calls Peter at the travel agency to discuss further.
Hello, the travel agency. This is Peter. How can I help you?
Hey, Peter, this is Liz from Secure Bank. I've been monitoring your transaction activity and noticed that your volume was unusually low this past month.
Liz, I was planning to call you to let you know that we're filing for bankruptcy. We'll be closing our doors at the end of the month.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Peter. I'll send a voluntary termination letter to you immediately. I also want to inform you that the travel agency will be listed in match to reflect your bankruptcy with match reason code 09, bankruptcy, liquidation, insolvency, within 5 days of your termination date.
I understand. Thank you for calling, Liz.
A merchant listing may be modified or deleted if it meets one of the specific criteria set forth in the MasterCard rules. All modifications and deletion requests must be submitted electronically via match. Such requests are reviewed by MasterCard and are typically processed within 1 to 2 business days. A merchant record may be removed from match only if the acquirer added the merchant to match in error, or if the merchant was listed for reason code 12, PCI non-compliance, and the acquirer confirms that the merchant has become PCI compliant. Any request relating to a merchant listed for reason code 12 must include the acquirer's attestation that the merchant is in compliance with the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, and a letter or certificate of validation from a MasterCard Certified Forensic Examiner certifying that the merchant is compliant with the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. Once a merchant is added to match, it remains in match for a period of 5 years. Each month, match automatically removes merchants that have been in the database for 5 years. Thank you for your time and for tuning into this presentation to review the Member Alert to Control High-Risk Merchant System, MATCH. We will present a few questions to test your knowledge of MATCH. Thank you for your time and attention today. Congratulations on completing the Member Alert to Control High-Risk Merchants module.